On my January 9th, 2025 visit to Southern California, I was making my way to the San Fernando Mission Cemetery, and I could see a menacing cloud of smoke arising from the Pacific Palisades Fire. My thoughts were with the thousands who were losing their homes. As soon as I got out of my car, I could feel the intense strong winds that spread the fires in neighborhoods to the west and to the east. I had planned to use what daylight I had left to search for more graves that I missed when I was here in 2022. I'll provide a link to that video in the video description.
There's the Eden fire way off in the distance. Crazy. Boiling right over the hill. So I'm going to hunker down close to the ground because it's really windy today. It's the day after the big fire, Pacific Palisades, and I can tell why there's such a fire problem here. It's because the winds just whip up and, it's like a blowtorch after a while. But I found a cemetery that's open. This is the San Fernando Mission Cemetery. I did videos here before and didn't get to everybody that I wanted to. And this being the only cemetery open, I thought I'd check this place out for a while till the sun goes down, till I kicked out.
I made my way to the grave of Eddie Quillan, whose entertainment career ranged from his days as a child vaudevillian to silent films and onto TV into the 1980s. Quillan's very first film appearance was in the 1922 comedy short Up and At 'Em. Quillan's breezy screen personality was seen in B-musicals, comedies, and even serials during the 1940s. Quillan remained a popular leading and secondary actor throughout the sound film era and would appear in such notable films as 1935's Mutiny on the Bounty with Clark Gable, the 1939 film Young Mr. Lincoln opposite Henry Fonda and Alice Brady, and as Connie Rivers in The Grapes of Wrath opposite Henry Fonda. He appeared in the 1943 film Alaska Highway and It Ain't Hay opposite the comedic duo of Abbott and Costello. Quillan was also tapped by Michael Landon for 7 episodes on Little House on the Prairie, and he also appeared in some Highway to Heaven episodes before he passed away. Buried underneath a towering tree is the grave of actor Frank Wilcox. He is well known for his role on the TV series The Beverly Hillbillies, playing oil company president John Brewster.
In my youth, I was considered quite a leading man type. And there were those who thought I had rather a handsome profile.
Well, you still got it. And I'll bet you can activate the band. Oh, come on. Take off a part for her. Something from Shakespeare.
Well, perhaps I can recall something from the balcony scene. Let's see now. How does it go? But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she.
Wilcox made over 200 TV appearances and in the 1960s appeared in TV commercials for Winston cigarettes. He began life in 1907 far from Hollywood. He was the local boy who made good in the hometown of DeSoto, Missouri, which hosts the film festival in his name every March during the weekend closest to his birthday. After signing a contract with the Warner Brothers, he played political figures such as Henry Clay, Andrew Jackson, and Abraham Lincoln. During World War II, he served in the U.S. Navy, being decorated for his battle service. At the end of the war, he continued acting, mostly in supporting roles, totaling over 150 films. Wilcox appeared on I Love Lucy, playing Joe Spaulding in the Lucy Wants to Move to the Country episode in 1957.
Well, it's not really a deal unless I cash the check.
Is that so?
So what I think I'll do is just return it. Nothing personal.
Yeah, coming down here, you kind of realize how strong the Santa Ana winds do blow. Look at this, knocked the tree over. Crazy. So I want you to look at something. I'm here at the grave of Edward Arnold, father of Eddie Arnold, Green Acres fan. He was also an actor. Look at this headstone. That's why I couldn't find it. Look at this. Edward Arnold died 1956. There, I cleaned it up a little bit. It says husband and father Edward Arnold, 1890 to 1956. He's not dead, he's just away.
Edward Arnold was a stage and movie actor who was born in the Lower East Side of New York City in 1890 to German immigrant parents. He appeared in over 150 movies, and his first movie with sound was in 1932, OK America. However, it was his role in the 1935 film Diamond Jim that boosted him to stardom. Rather than continue in leading man roles, he gave up losing weight and went after character parts instead. He said, quote, "The bigger I got, the better character roles I received."
Well, I really have to go now. The people over across corners must be waiting for me.
Well, it's really not very far, Mr. Webster.
Oh, it's you again. What do you want?
Well, I thought with the presidential election coming up, you might need some help, Mr. Webster, sir.
He was so sought after that he often worked on 2 pictures at one time. Cast as rogue and authority figures, Arnold was best known for his 1930s role in Come and Get It, Sutter's Gold, The Toast of New York, You Can't Take It With You, and Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. In this mausoleum, I found the crypt of Gloria Talbott. She was a diverse actress known for her Western film roles, but also as a scream queen after appearing in a number of low-budgeted horror and sci-fi films. They included Daughter of Dr. Jekyll and the Cyclops in 1957, I Married a Monster from Outer Space in 1958, and The Leech Woman in 1960. Talbott was born in Glendale, a city co-founded by her great-grandfather, Benjamin Franklin I. Patterson. She began acting as a child in films such as Maytime in 1937 at the age of 6. She also appeared in Sweet and Low Down 1947 and A Tree Grows in Brooklyn in 1945. A dark-haired beauty with dark cat eyes and pointed features, she won the Miss Glendale contest in 1947. She worked steady in films during the 1950s, mostly in B-movies. In 1955, she landed roles in Crash Out, Humphrey Bogart's comedy We're No Angels, Lucy Gallant, and All That Heaven Allows. She also had a role in the 1957 film The Kettles on Old MacDonald's Farm, as seen here. As an accomplished equestrian, riding horses and westerns came easy for Talbott, and she appeared in 3 episodes of Rawhide and 2 episodes of Gunsmoke, and she also appeared on Bonanza. Her final Hollywood film was in 1966, An Eye for an Eye.
I thought I'd come by and visit my old friend Walter Brennan, Western actor. Featured him on our first video here, but look at the shadows being cast across this one. He's buried here with his wife, Ruth. If you don't know him, he was an amazing guy. He had an extensive career in Hollywood. Became famous as the Judge Roy Bean in The Westerner in 1940. He was also nominated for his performance in Sergeant York in 1941. He enjoyed a range of roles, but he was best known in westerns. He appeared with John Wayne in Red River in 1948.
We've already got a cook.
That is right, Mr. Dunson. But might be old Cookie might not like grubbing the trip all that way. You heard me good that time, didn't you?
In Rio Bravo, 1959, and was memorable as Old Man Clanton in My Darling Clementine in 1946. He was in a number of other films, including The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, 1938, Pride of the Yankees, 1942, Bad Day at Black Rock, 1955, How the West Was Won in 1962. That was a big one.
Estelita Rodriguez was a Cuban actress best known for playing in Roy Rogers films. Her death remains a mystery even to this day. On March 12, 1966, she was found dead on the kitchen floor of her North Hollywood home. No autopsy was performed and no cause of death was ever determined, which fueled speculation that she was murdered. Estelita and her mother were Cuban refugees who lost everything during the Revolution of 1933. As a teen in New York City, she began singing in clubs like the Copacabana, where she was discovered by studio executives in 1942. In 1945, she landed a 5-picture contract with Republic Studios. She made her film debut in Along the Navajo Trail in 1945, followed by Mexicana the same year, and On the Old Spanish Trail in 1947. She also appeared in Old Los Angeles, Susanna Pass, The Golden Stallion, and 6 pictures released in 1950, including the Roy Rogers Dale Evans vehicle, Twilight in the Sierras, and 4 more in 1951. In her January 1953 wedding to actor Grant Withers, John Wayne served as best man. After wrapping up her contract with Republic, she opened at the Coconut Grove to rave reviews. Her film roles dwindled, with her biggest role in the 1959 John Wayne movie Rio Bravo. Her last film appearance was in Jesse James Meets Frankenstein's Daughter, 1966. Rosemary La Planche, who lived from 1923 to 1979, was a beauty queen and actress who won the Miss California contest 3 years in a row, 1939 to 1941, and became Miss America in 1941. Her pinups were popular with GIs during World War II. Rosemary worked as a model and appeared in about 31 films between 1937 and 1949 in mostly uncredited roles. RKO Studios contracted with her after she won the Miss America title. The year 1946 brought her a starring role in The Strangler of the Swamp.
Is Chris here?
You should know better than I where Chris is. Bursting into this house?
The Strangler's after Chris.
What are you saying?
The Strangler caught him in a deer trap.
Is he dead?
He was almost dead when I found him.
Well, where is he?
I don't know. I was running for the doctor when the Strangler stopped me.
Well, never mind the Strangler. Where is Chris?
I took him to the hut, and then he was gone. Oh, he's in the swamp. The Strangler.
La Planche also appeared in episodes of The Donna Reed Show, and with her husband had a daily TV program, The Harry Copland-Rosemary La Planche Show, on KHJ in Hollywood. In the 1960s, La Planche turned to painting instead of acting.
So I just got the crap scared out of me. Got an alert to evacuate this area. I'm not sure what that means, if it's generally all of Los Angeles or San Fernando Valley, but that's kind of scary. I don't know what to do at this point.
In less than an hour, I received a second alert saying the first alert was an error and not in effect for all of Los Angeles County, only those affected in the Kenneth Fire area near Ventura. If you've never received one of those bone-jarring alerts, you'll never know how panicky it can make a person feel. On my Sunday ride back home, I decided to stop by the San Fernando Mission Cemetery to see if I could find some additional celebrity graves. Using some really bad GPS coordinates, I probably spent about 30 minutes looking for the grave of comedian, actress, and singer Winnie Lightner Del Ruth, to no avail. So let me show you a photo that somebody else shot of the grave marker. Perhaps best known as the man-hungry Mabel in Gold Diggers of Broadway in 1929, Lightner was often typecast as a wisecracking gold digger. She is also noted for introducing the song Singin' in the Bathtub in the 1929 motion picture The Show of Shows.
I get inspiration every Saturday night. I'm singing in the bathtub, happy once again, watching all my troubles go swimming down the drain.
Her career came to an end in 1934 with the movie I'll Fix It. Another elusive grave was that of actor James Westerfield. He had a motion picture and TV acting career from the 1940s to the 1970s. He appeared in a number of classic TV series, including Daniel Boone and the Rifleman, as well as scores of popular films such as The Magnificent Ambersons in 1942, On the Waterfront 1954, and The Absent-Minded Professor in 1961. He also played the judge in John Wayne's version of True Grit in 1969.
Sworn this morning, you're still sworn. Take the stand. Defense will cross-examine.
How long have you been a deputy marshal, Mr. Cogburn?
4 years come March.
How many men have you shot in that time?
The prosecution objects.
Overruled.
Well, counting them 2 wardens, 23.
That makes about 6 men a year.
It's a dangerous business.
Was this revolver loaded and cocked? Just answer my questions, if you please.
Well, a question don't make sense.
Don't bandy words with counsel, Mr. Cogburn.
Yes, sir.
Another disappointment came when I found out that actor Frank Phelan is buried in an unmarked grave next to his brother, Sergeant Randolph Ruff. One of his most well-known roles is that of Ernie the taxi cab driver in the holiday film classic It's a Wonderful Life.
Hey, I'm a rich tourist today. How about driving me home in style, huh?
Hey, hop
yes,
in, Your Highness, hop in. And for the carriage trade, I put on my hat.
Another character actor who is buried here is Kenneth Lynch, who is a familiar face to American vintage TV watchers. When he wasn't portraying hard-boiled police officers, he was cast as stern military officers, unfriendly sheriffs, or aggressive proprietors. Lynch made 33 films, including Anatomy of a Murder, North by Northwest, The Legend of Tom Dooley with Michael Landon, and Pork Chop Hill, all in 1959. Other films were Days of Wine and Roses, 1962, and Tora Tora Tora, 1970. The bulk of his work, however, was for TV crime series like The Untouchables and The Rockford Files, and westerns like Gunsmoke, Bonanza, and The Virginian.
Well, usually these things can be settled if nobody takes it personally.
I don't know of any other way to take it.
How can you blame a businessman for grabbing an opportunity when he sees it? There's several $100,000 worth of timber on those hills. That's what I'm interested in.
That section can never be heavily logged. You take those trees away, the Ponderosa will be flooded every spring. Mr. Tanner, neither you nor anybody else is going to make a mud hole out of the Ponderosa.
A court of law might disagree with that, Mr. Cartwright.
I don't know what kind of a case you have, but I can promise you the fight of your life.
He retired from acting after playing a general in the miniseries The Winds of War in 1983. Ken Lynch died from a virus at age 79 in 1990. If you haven't seen our first episode on this, the San Fernando Mission Cemetery, that was shot in February 2022, check it out. I've left a link to that video at the end of this video and also in the video description box. Thank you so much.
So, it's a little difficult finding a grave. It's a little difficult. It's a little difficult finding